Wolf Den calling Lone Wolf over. Wolf Den calling Lone Wolf over. Lone Wolf, this is Wolf Den. Do you read?
Lone Wolf calling Wolf Den, over. Lone Wolf calling Wolf Den, over. Wolf Den, this is Lone Wolf. Do you read? Wolf Den, this is Lone Wolf, over.
Yes, we hear you, Lone Wolf, over.
Prepare for emergency landing. Arriving with American POWs.
Well, for all you Rambo fans out there, you would know that awesome little bit of audio was from Rambo First Blood Part 2. It's just after Rambo secures the helicopter and goes back to the POW village, and he blows it to smithereens. He lands the chopper and he picks up all those prisoners of war that have been locked up there for many a year, and he takes off. And as he's trying to fly back to Thailand, you see the huge sun, and coming from the bottom of that sun is that big Soviet Union gunship, and they get into a bit of a dogfight. The chopper that Rambo and the POWs are in takes a hit, and there's smoke everywhere, so he lands it in the creek bed, and that Soviet Union gunship sort of like comes on down and lands in front of it, and Rambo's playing cat and mouse pretending that he's dead, and he gets that RPG and he blows it to smithereens, and from there he takes off, and that's when he makes the call, Lone Wolf to Wolf Den, over. So you might be asking, why am I playing audio from Rambo First Blood Part 2? Well, I've parked here just on the edge of the F6, the Princess Motorway, just up from Bulli. If you notice there, I'm just to the side of the gate that says Upper Escarpment Trail, and I've been given some intel. Are you ready for this? Someone has informed me that back in the 1960s, the Australian Army built a mock Vietnam village somewhere in here, in some rainforest area. So I've been given some information of what to look for. I don't know where to start or where it might be, on the Princess Highway side or the Bulli side. So I thought I'd come today on Easter Saturday and have a look. Mavericks is holidaying down south. Julie is up north, so they're not with me today. So I'm going in like Rambo went in, Lone Wolf style. Now if you ask me, is someone pulling my leg or is this true? Put it this way, over near where I live, over at Manly Vale there, just up the road we have Middlehead fortifications, and in one of the forts there, classified as the power room, you have the notorious tiger cages. And those tiger cages were also built in the 60s. They are corrugated iron with chicken wire, and what they were used for, our young troops, they were ready to head over to Vietnam, they would stick them in there just in case, to teach them, just in case they got caught in Vietnam and they would be starved. There was no light in this room, and those who would break, I gather, wouldn't be sent over, and those who could last were up for the task. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to suit up, I'm going to put my tack belt on. I've got my X80 here, the Ace Beam X80. What I might do, I know this trail heads back that way and it comes back out onto the F6. So I'm going to find that trail, I'm going to come back out at the other gate that says probably Upper Escarpment, and then from there my plan is to drop down into the creek, Bellambi Creek, from what I've been told. And if it's not too deep, I'm actually going to walk up that creek, because if you remember the movie Rambo, that village that's in that flick is sort of like built near a creek. There's a stream pretty much running through it. So if there is something that was built here more than 50 odd years ago, I would suggest that the army trucks would have had to have come in these type of gates, and it would have been built in rainforest area close to the creek. So that's my plan of attack today. So stick with me, I'll suit up, and then once I get on the trail I'll start filming again. Just give you a clue how I've parked my car here. It says no parking in the driveway, so hopefully I won't get pegged. As I said, I'm just off the side of the F6, not too far up from the old Golden Fleece restaurant. I'm going to walk through this gate. It doesn't say no entry, it just says no parking in gateway. So I gather you can park off to the side here, but it only allows parking for one car if you're thinking about doing this from this end. As I said, I'm going to walk this trail and come back out onto the F6. All right, matey. Alright, we've got heaps of trails going everywhere here. We've got one off to the right. We've got a couple down through there. There was an old sign there. Probably no dumping. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up this way first and see if this takes me to where I want to go before I come back here. So we'll head up here. Wait till this dude goes first. Actually, let's see what's down here. I know some of these trails here lead you down to Bulli. I think it's called the Lower Bulli Pass. And if you're heading down with a car down Bulli Pass and you come to that big hairpin where the safety ramp is for trucks if they lose their brakes, you come around that hairpin and just off to the right you'll notice a place where you can park your cars, where you can head into the bush. I think that's where this takes you. But I'm going to head up with this guy over here because I've got to stick close to the F6, the Princess Motorway. As I said, I'm not going to start trying to find this village until I come out at the other gate, just to familiarise myself with the area, and that's when I'll decide to drop down into the creek and walk back up to here by the creek. You can see now how far it descends. I'm up nice and high here, right next to these electrical towers. I've just passed that other one. Looks like to be mobile phone tower possibly. So I'm going to have to climb back up this way. So this part is the easy way down, but I'm going to have to navigate this hill. You can see the F6 in the distance. That's where I plan on coming out. That's where I was going to park, intending on parking there because Bellambi Creek is closer to that side than it is up here. But there was only parking just on the side of the road there, and being double demerit weekend, I didn't want to get pegged by 5-0. Let me tell you, on the way here from the northern beaches there was that many 5-0. They were everywhere, and those speed cameras, the stationary speed cameras, they were set up virtually around every corner. So I'm actually glad I'm out of the car, because in that car of mine it's very hard to keep to the speed limit. It just wants you to go. So it's nice and cool today, about 19 degrees. Beautiful day. Absolutely stunning day. Am I going to find anything? I don't know, but as I said, there was those tiger cages built over there at Mossman, and this intel was given to me by a person saying there was a mock Vietnam village built in the rainforest area of Bellambi Creek back in the late 1960s by the Australian Army. And he said, while I don't believe anything would remain, because it has been over 50 years ago, he said they built tunnels that were lined with concrete, and if anything is to still be there, those tunnels should be there. But unlike the Broker's Nose tunnel that Mavericks and myself found, that one was chiseled into the rock and it went in. If you recall, Vietnam tunnels are straight in the ground, down in the ground. So if they're going to mimic exactly what the conditions were like in Vietnam, you would think that those tunnels might have been filled in, even though they are concrete lined. But this is what this makes this day exciting. You know, for a guy whose inspiration for this channel came from the movie First Blood, can you imagine going up that creek and finding something, anything, just a cleared area? Because they would have had to chop down a few trees, I gather, to build this village. So we're just got to find anything. I gather this is where the creek is down here. See the gully? You can still see the trail over there. Yeah, you know, if I find any remnants of this place, I'll be over the moon. If you're going to give this task to anyone, you give it to me. If anyone's going to find it, I'm going to be the guy. I've just come down and around this hill here. I can still hear the Princess motorway to my left, but have a look here. Rainforest area, getting very dark. You can hear that bird life, that if you watch that movie Rambo, it sounds exactly like it. So that's all I've got to go by, rainforest area. I've got to think, these trucks, you know, all this gear, all the stuff that they built would have had to have been hauled in by army trucks back in the day. So they probably would have gone on this trail. I doubt very much they would have headed into the bush with their trucks, so all the supplies and tools and everything would have been having to be walked in. I doubt they would have walked a very long way. This is full on rainforest territory here, and this is the creek it looks like. Look at that down there. Maybe it's not a creek, but it is where water flows straight down from there. Oh yeah, we've got some water here. Bit of a landslide there. So if these tunnels were concrete lined, you wouldn't think anything would be growing out from the top of them. There shouldn't be any tree stumps. So there should be a nice, clear, flat area. There's the creek. I gather that's Bellambi Creek. That's where I'm going to get down into, that leaf litter. As soon as I find this other gate. Would they have hauled the gear up that way? My guess would be they would have hauled the gear down that way. Starting to descend down again. We come up to this sign. It says bridge ahead, 30-ton limit. So if the trucks, the army trucks came in from the arse end down here, would they have come up these hills? I don't think this landscape would have changed all that much in over 50 years. But as you can see on either side of me, it's like rainforest area. Plenty of bird life. If there is something here, finding it is like finding a needle in a haystack. Which side could it be on? I'm just going to walk this trail and just keep on looking to the left and right of me, just to see if I can see anything. Anything that might give me an idea of that's where they may have headed in. So look at it there through there. That's the rainforest area up there as well. Bridge. Well, if we think back to Rambo First Blood Part 2, where those trucks were stationed on the bridge when he killed all those people in the cornfields, and he started blowing them up with his explosive arrows. So it looks like Bellambi Creek goes from one side to the other. That would make sense, because when I was looking at the map, if I was to enter it from down here, I would have had to turn right to drop down into the creek. Okay, that doesn't look too bad at all. There's hardly any water in it. So that's going to be my bet, is drop down into there. So I'll probably come up this way once I find the other gate, go under this bridge and head up the creek. And then if you remember where I was filming up the top there, the creek pretty much comes to an end and then overlaps the trail again. So that's going to be my first way of attacking this, the creek. You think about it, Mother Nature has reclaimed this after all this time. But there should still be an open type area where these tunnels were built. If there wasn't tunnels and it was just a village with canopies in the trees and stuff like that, I wouldn't hold out much hope. But it's these tunnels that have brought me down here today. You can see some tyre marks here. They don't look all that old actually. So something's been through here recently. We've just come down this little area where the tread marks were. You see here, I'm thinking this takes you to the Princess Motorway, because I can hear water. This was the place I needed to turn right. If I came up from here and I was walking up this way, this is what I saw on satellite mapping, where I needed to turn right and to drop down into the creek. Just to confirm that, we're going to walk this trail and see if it comes out where I think it does. Look at that. That's a nice open area. That looks like it's worthwhile investigating down there. Very much so. That's what I've got to try to look for, something open like that. Anyway, let's do this trail. Let's see if it comes out to that other gate. I've got another bridge here. Ton, 10-kilometre speed limit. The water's not looking too clean. Maybe that wasn't the road that I was meant to drop down in. It's possibly up here further. And first little bit of sign of rubbish that I've seen. So I've passed a couple of bridges. You can see where I've come from. There's the mobile phone tower, and I've see the ones in the distance there, that's where I parked my car. So I've come down a long way. This is, you can see the cars along the F6, so the boom gates, or the gates just up here. This is where I think I may have to go down to drop down into the Bellambi Creek. Let's just go up here and have a look at this gate. If this is the one that's right on the Princess Motorway, which it looks like it is, this is where I was going to enter this explore from today. But you'll see once I get up here, parking the car here is very visible to 50. You probably could, it's probably not illegal, but for the first time I didn't want to take any chances. So you can't park in front of the gate. And there is a bit of a grassy area where you can park there, but I don't know if you get booked. Alright, so this was where I was meant to enter this from. If you punch in Bellambi Creek on satellite mapping, the pin drop is down here. It's nowhere near where I parked my car. Now I've just got to try to work out which clearing it is I have to turn right. Is it this one or the one after the bridge? I just don't know. See, it's like Rainforest area up there, but would they have gone that far up? You know, think about it. They would have been in army trucks. They would have come down here, and I've just actually, like, pretty much walked through all Rainforest area, straight smack bang in the guts of it. So let's just go down this little trail here and see if it leads us to the creek. See, you never know, this concrete may have been built by the Australian Army. May have been put here from way back then. You just don't know. It may have been so muddy when they were thinking about putting this mock village together, where they would have had to shore up the roadway here so their trucks didn't slide on down. Okay, this is when we're going to have to go off bush now. We're going to get cuts, we're going to get leeches. Let's just hope for no snake or spider bites. See, something's come through here, look. It's either an animal, and that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like a person's done that. So this looks to be some sort of animal track. There's a nice open clearing in front of me here, but I doubt highly they would be there. For sure they would have built it under trees. You notice here the track splays off in two ways. This one heads back towards the freeway. I'm going to head down here. Let's see what it's like. The hope is to drop down into the creek. And from the creek, fingers crossed we see something on either side, some sort of remnants of something. Beauty about this is you can't really get lost because you've got the power lines to guide you back home. So if you do your bushwalks and you do have power lines, use them as a marker. Oh, here we go. Here we go. What have we got down here? We've got a couple of big concrete pipes down here. You're not going to walk those down. That's some heavy concrete. They've been sitting here a long time. See, it looks open down there as well. That's a good sign, huh? A real good sign. And here's the creek. Okay. Exactly what I wanted. Also got to be careful where I'm treading, because that World War II adit that we found in the Royal National Park a couple of years ago, which was found by road workers about a year or two before that, that has been since sealed up, but we did locate it. And when you watch the Channel 7 news report on that, which I've got on my YouTube channel, they said there's another 40 or so undiscovered tunnels down on the south coast. So when you're doing these kind of walks, you're going to have to be really careful. There's not going to be any adit here because it would have to be under some sort of roadway or something. It's pretty dirty water and looks a little bit deep here. And the bottom doesn't look like it's very secure. But that's what we want to do. We want to head up that creek. So let's just, I'm going to drop down into where these concrete things were. So it could be in here, you just don't know. Just don't know. But I think I'm attacking this the right way. I think I'm starting it from the right side. Is that more water down there? See, little bits of clearing like this. I'm just going to have to walk these a little bit every time I see something like this, and just see if I can see any rubbish or something on the ground, something like those concrete drains, pipes. That's a nice open clearing there. Where's that water that I've seen just there? This looks like swamp. This looks like swampy area. That's another thing, you know. If they're going to build this, they would have had to have needed nice, hard footing underneath. So if this is swampy area, I doubt very much. You can see the animal tracks. Looks like hooves. Don't know what animal that is, but something that's come through here. Good thing about it, I can have a look today myself, and then if Mav is keen, the next time that we come back, if we come back, I can let him know which areas I explored, and we don't have to do them. Because just imagine if I found something, that'd probably make world news. If there's something left here from such an important war, where when the soldiers came back, they were pretty much spat on and ridiculed and hated for going to that war. It would definitely make some news. There's some noise coming from up that area. I think it might be the buzzing of the telegraph wires. Right, let's head back. I'm not going to head through there, it's all swampy through there. But there is some sort of trail. Might be the creek, I don't know. No leeches yet. Let's get back onto the other side of those concrete pipes and see if we can drop down into the creek where it's not so deep or dirty. just come through this trail here. The creek is over there in the distance. This is all like marsh and swampy area, so I've come on this high ground and I have found a tunnel, but I don't think it's the tunnel we're looking for. This could be a wombat burrow. I'm not too sure. I've got to be careful nothing comes flying out. It goes up a fair way. I don't know if it's still in use. But there's a bit of a tunnel for you. Could that be part of the... It goes up an embankment there, but I highly doubt it. So we've found something. If you look at those two ferns there on the end, unless that animal is coming between them carefully, I doubt highly it's being used anymore. But just in case we won't disturb it, we'll keep on heading along over here. We'll see if we can find anything else that resembles this. Give you an idea of what kind of terrain I'm in. I'm just covered by whatever this plant life around me is, and I'm just making my way through the little holes. There was some sort of animal back up there, took off pretty quick. I noticed a little bit of feces on the ground, so I'm going to try to drop down into this creek now and work my way up. If you're ever thinking about doing this, don't wear a white shirt or one of your favourite shirts, because I'm already filthy. I've got my Rambo shirt on today and going through all that plant life over here. It's really dirtied everything up. So I'm going to drop down in this filthy water and I'm going to work my way up the creek. See here, look, that's someone's shoes. That's not mine. Someone has come to this point. Why? I have no idea. That right there, my friends, is a shoe print. See the difference between my size to their size. There's another one. It looks like they've gone into the water as well. Let's just see how stable it is here. The last thing I want to do is fall in. Got some sort of bird there sitting down. Okay, the creek is running a little bit. See the little trickle there? Okay, this is the plan now. The plan is to walk this creek as far that I can and at least get to those bridges, and hopefully I'll see something to the left or right of me. Look where I am, guys. I actually feel like I'm in the movie Rambo. The only difference is no one's shooting at me. But this is the dilemmas I face. So this tree has fallen down and I have no access to go up the creek here, so I'm going to jump up on the embankment and go through. If it was built anywhere, you would think it's going to be built with this river or the stream running right beside it. I'm giving myself the best chance of finding something, anything, something nailed to a tree or something that they've forgotten to take back 50 years ago. I haven't seen any rubbish, but there's plenty of animal tracks, so you notice there something has come down maybe for a drink and gone straight up the embankment there. I'll head up here through the ferns and see if I can get back down into the creek. Just jumped up on the embankment there and I've come across another trail. Now we need to head down through there to continue with this creek, but it looks like the creek goes up this way as well. Now this was not a trail that I came on. Okay, so do you remember when I told you guys, because there's that telegraph pole or the electricity tower, when I told you guys I'm going to head down there and start it? It looks like this heads somewhere else. I had a look on the map and I did see all these other trails. See, I just don't know where the army trucks came in from. I'm just guessing that they came in from those two gates that I've filmed today. They could have came in from up there somewhere. I just know it's somewhere along Bellambi Creek. Considering this is a nice easy track, and if I bring Mav back next time, we'll probably walk this track. I don't think he's going to like too much going into creeks and stuff like that. He's a little bit scared of wildlife. I'm going to walk this creek back up to the car. If I find something, I'll find something. If not, I'll leave it for another day. So let's go back down, get around. See, look, cut on purpose. That's a very clean cut. It's a very, very clean cut. Look at this thing here. That's what stopped me from getting through. The creek did look like it was a little bit easier to access further way up, so maybe I just got to get through this hard part here. There's a little bit of timber here and a windscreen wiper, which has probably been washed down in the flood. But there's a lot of things here that have been cut. Someone's come through with a chainsaw here. Alright, let me drop back down in and I'll start back up again. I'm back in. You can see the trail just there to the left of me. It may have been built here, you just don't know. You know, this could have been all cleared back then. There could be tunnels under here. The only way is to get yourself a machete and cut all this down. Would there have been power lines back then? Possibly. If there was, then I doubt it would have been built there. Now this is what walking up Bellambi Creek looks like. Seems to get a little bit easier now. There you go, some sort of animal up there. You can see they're moving, but I can't catch them. I don't know what they are. Beautiful it looks through there. Okay, well, the intel was rainforest. Doesn't look too much like rainforest down here. So I'm now starting to head into what looks like the Viet Cong jungle. And this wouldn't be all that hard on either track to bring down supplies and build something down here. We did see some open clearings, if you remember, when we're coming this way. Where do we go? Should we go through this filthy water? Why not? Alright, we've got a can here. It's probably been washed down from the flood. Let's see what that's all about. What have we got here? How old are you? Mother. Not all that old. Energy drink. See, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for something like this. This would have been perfect to build something back in the day here in the trees. Oh, we've got a little waterfall. Okay. Well, if we don't find something, we have come across a beautiful little swimming hole. Absolutely magnificent. That looks to be very deep. Maybe that's where those footsteps were heading. Maybe the locals here know of the little Bellambi Creek swimming hole. So I'm unsure what to name this video. Do I name it the Vietnam Mock Village Hunt? Or do I name it the Bellambi Creek Waterfall? That is one unbelievable swimming hole. I would have never ever have guessed something like that would have been here. Just trying to look whether or not this has been carved out. Does this look all natural here? Maybe this is all been... Did you see that? Something's jumping in that water. Now how do I get up from here? I need to get over there. Let's see if I can climb up that way there. Big embankment. What a beautiful little area. Let me get some pictures from here and I'll start filming back this way when I'm up over there. My advice, guys, is do not come up the way I came, because that rock there is ready to go and I was snapping all these dead branches and stumps here, so it's very risky. Unless you're sure of your climbing skills, my advice would be to climb up that embankment and come down through here, and you can drop down into the creek over here, or just go back up the creek a little bit, get onto that trail up there, and then you should be able to find your way down. But I wouldn't risk coming up this way, because if that rock did fall, I would have toppled straight over and probably hurt myself. So I'm on top now, I'm pretty safe. There is some stuff that you can grab. This one here is okay, this one here is okay, but every piece of dirt that I put my foot on, I was falling through. So just be very careful if you come up the same way I did, which you don't need to. It's just that I like testing myself. You can see here I can drop straight back in again. There's another gully. That's where the trail is, just up there. No leeches as yet, so it's not very well known for leech territory. So this is another one that I can do with Mav or Jules, because if the trail's just up there, we can come down here, have a look at this waterfall, and they don't need to come up the creek that I just came up. Look how beautiful and mossy it is down here. Ian moss. That's stunning through there. to get Jules here sometime, I think. Alright, we're back onto the creek. Let's just get down here on top of this. Let's see how slippery it is. No, it's not too bad. Okay, so if anyone knows what this is officially called, let me know in the comments. I don't know what that is. It's like a bit of rock. But for the time being, I'll name this Bellambi Waterfall. Bellambi Creek Waterfall and Swimming Hole. The exciting part is I've still got a long way to go back up to the car. It does end though, if you remember, at that electricity tower. That's where I have to jump back up on the trail, and if I haven't found anything up until then, I'll call it quits for today and come back and attack it another day, or someone else can take on this explore and see if you're lucky enough to find it. If you do, just make sure you tag me, because I want to watch your video. I'm going to head down into Wollongong after and do a little bit of op shopping, grab myself a bite to eat, and then Marshall Mavericks is holidaying down near Geroa and he's invited me down, so I might head down there. Let me get a few pictures from here and we'll keep on going. Just up from the waterfall here, and I've got a nice open clearing. See, this is what I'm hoping for, something like this. Because these trees don't look all that old. They could have grown in the last 50 years. There could be something under here. There could well be tunnels under here, you just don't know. But there's nothing that I can see. You know, I want to find an older tree, a tree that was here 50 years ago that may have been cut or something. You've got like an ant's nest here, whatever that thing is there. It might be an old tree anyway. That could be an old tree actually. But this would have been perfect. If I'm back in the late 60s looking for a place to build something right next to the stream, this is the type of spot that I want to build it. Very close. What's that? Something hanging on the back of my hat. Here we go. Another tunnel. Yeah, so we've got plenty of animals here. Maybe the animals have started to use the tunnels that were once here. Ready for it to fly out. I don't know if you can see what's in there. My guess would probably be, I don't know, would it be a fox? Wombat? I don't know. What's in this area? But that's two that I've found now. And who's to say that that chap hasn't dug his way and he's now into the concrete lined tunnels that might be up around here somewhere. Let's keep on going. Look at the silhouette on the tree there for me. Shaking the water a little bit. So the burrow is just up there. That's where I've come from, the creek. You can just see the tower up through there. And these kind of things give me hope. This has been cut. Now why? And look, there is Rio sticking out of it. Now why would something like this be down here unless it's been washed down? So you've got a bit of Rio there and a bit of Rio there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the first sign that I've seen that there could possibly have been something down here. It may have been washed down. I'm not saying it hasn't been, as you can see a whole bunch of debris here. So that may have come from somewhere. I'm just checking all the trees in the hope that I see something, some sort of foundation. There's a nice big vine hanging down, something that gives me that glimmer of hope. Get out of it. This is where all the debris has gathered. We just keep on winding around, and now it gets a lot thinner. I actually should have taken a picture of that. I'm going to have to go back and grab a pic. I'm starting to find a few more things in this area. This has been tied to this branch. It's broken off from something. I don't know what it is. That's some old material down here. And if anyone knows what that thing is, let me know in the comments. It's got 3 prongs right there going into 3 holes. What could that have been? Someone has secured that tightly. That just hasn't floated downstream and caught on that. So if you know what that is, I've never seen anything like that. Doesn't say anything on it. Plastic. When did plastic come out? The 60s? Looking at those type of trees, man. If I was to build a mock Vietnam village, this would have been the area. So if anyone decides to come up the creek, stand next to that, get a picture and comment on it saying, "Prime led me here." You got the log with the Rio just down in the water there, and you've got whatever this thing is. This spot, I think we may have to come back to and have a little bit more of a scout around with Mav, because Mav's got a good head on his shoulder. He's pretty smart, that kid. Might get his metal detector as well. They were probably firing off blanks here as well in guns. Surely there's remnants of cartridges underground here. They couldn't have picked up every single one. How nice is it with that sun poking through there? I can't hear... Oh yeah, I can. The freeway's just up here, so I'm not all that far away from the freeway. So, and there's some power, like I said, the electrical tower's just up there. So here we go. Look. What is that? Is that a shoe? That's probably... That's an animal. Look. That's hooves. Could be goat. There's a hoof there. 2 toes going in there. So I gather goats are coming down here for a bit of a drink of water, a bit of a sip. We've got an island here. You love that bird life, kids. I'm seeing more evidence of the trees being disturbed here. There's 2 cuts. One down below, I gather he started for some reason, he didn't continue, and one up above. Are these cuts from 50 plus years ago? Someone has purposely cut them. You see a lot of trees lying along the ground here too that look like they've been cut on purpose. Why would anyone come down here and cut that? There's no reason for it. Unless there was something here a long time ago. So in this close proximity we've found the log with the Rio, the 3-prong peg looking thing, and a stump here that's been cut. And I head over in there a little bit. See, there could be something in here as well. But if I was to come back to this area, this is where I'd concentrate with Mav. Look at this tree. Look at the angle that it's on. It's starting to shed. And if you guys look in the distance over there, another tree that's been cut. Another one here. What's going on? Is this just bush regeneration? Is that the local council coming down here and just cutting things away, or what? Why is this like this? That's not two. 2 have been cut here, and that one remains. That's a nice cut as well. Yeah. See, the trail just looks like it's just up over in there. Could there be tunnels in here? I'm finding a lot of evidence that something has been going on here. How do you determine how old that cut is? See little pieces there. He's dropped it that way, so he's cut it. Is that the same size as that? Probably come from that one there. Because if you look at the step on that stump, there's the step on that one. Where this one's gone, I don't know. This one looks like it's been cut up. See, they could have used that to build things. More stuff. Cut. Full on in the bush. You can't tell me that's not strange. You can't tell me. See, this is what I expect here. That. Rotted out bits of trees from excessive water or something, but neatly cut trees with a chainsaw? No idea. drop down into the creek. I found a container here. I couldn't date it. There is a sticker. If anyone can make that out, looks like a green label sticker. It says something down the bottom there. I don't know what it is. A little bit of rubbish, which is very few and far between, that I'm finding. I'm pulling up and just leaving it exposed like that. So again, if you're going to come through yourselves, you'll find all these little things from me. There's a tree collapsed up in here. Plenty of ferns. Perfect territory for tunnels, because that's what the aim is today. Remember that, kids. I'm not expecting to find the village. I'm expecting to find the concrete lined tunnels. There is something up through there. What is that thing? We've got a leech. No, just a leaf. Is that just a rock? Wow, that's a tree stump, and that is one big ass tree stump. Hell's bells. Look at the size of that. Let me get the torch out and light this area up. That is massive. Now that, okay, we've got a hole underneath. I think that's just where the roots were. But this one I don't think has been cut down. That's a big sized trunk on this. That's a shame that this one has come down. It's been sitting here a long, long time. Looked like it was double the size. There's bits of it there as well. I haven't moved from this area much. See up the top there? More cut trees. Up in the distance up there, you can see two that have been cut. Side by side up the top there. There has been activity here. What it was for, I have no idea. Is it bush regen, or is it remnants from the village? To train out troops to head over and fight in Vietnam. See, look, up there, perfectly cut again. There's too many cut here to be anything else, I reckon. Will the tunnels still exist, or have they been swallowed up by Mother Nature? That's what I'm thinking. With the amount of rain that's happened in 50 years, and if they're going straight down into the ground like the tunnels did in Vietnam, I doubt very much we're going to find anything open. It's just another tree falling down. I mean, I read back when that war was going, there were children that didn't see the light of day for years on end. They were born underground. That's how they were able to surprise their attackers. They were coming from underground. And here's another open area. Notice when I told you at the start of the day there shouldn't be anything growing. If there is concrete underground, there shouldn't be anything growing. Look, there's a few little saplings here and there, but there could be something again under here. Perfect area for it. I've spent about half an hour down in this area, which I think something was here at some point. I can't find any more. You can see, look, looks like that's been cut up there as well. There may have been something tied to the trees, like a tarp or something. I'm just going to make my way back up through the creek. We should be coming upon one of the bridges soon. Hey, there it is. Alright, we've got the concrete bridge here. See, that may have been built by the army as well. You just don't know. So there's the trail I came down. And my plan is to head up the creek under this bridge. So it does make sense that they bring all their army trucks down here, park them up to the side, and bring their supplies down here and build that mock village. The water's a lot clearer here as well. It was filthy down further. Is there any date on this or not? Get in under here and have a look. What is that thing? There's something in the corner up there. Everything here is clear except for that corner. Is it just on the concrete, is it? It might be just on the concrete. So you can see down here bird. So birds come under this bridge. It could be a bird's... No, it's not. Nothing. Alright, there's nothing there. It's just part of the concrete. Lots of mosquitoes. So we'll move out of here, I think. You can see all the twigs that have been caught. Come on, Tom, hook back on. Looks like a little bit of quicksand. See all the twigs that have been caught on the side there. Would have been great if there was a date. There is some sort of green marking there, but I can't read it. Continues up through there. Nice and clear water through here. Is there any date on here? There's that thing that was in the bush. I don't know what it was when I came through the first time. Could be a side mirror. That looks like the bumper bar. Bumper bar of a truck. An army truck possibly. See a massive termite mound, I think, in the distance there. This embankment here doesn't look all that stable. I would like to get up there. Maybe I can head up here and just have a look a little bit closer at that mound. You can see animals have come down here again, so they're up and down these embankments. Okay, so there's another tree cut here. So there's tree cuts everywhere along here. I might be reading too much, you know it. Because now they're not centralised to over at that other spot I was at. Maybe they were used for logging, although they're still here. They've just cut it and dropped it. I'm just looking for any hole, any type of tunnel. So the road is just up there. Pretty close. You see the creek down here. Look how many have been cut here. Be careful of those vines. Some nice fungus here. I'll get the camera out and get a picture of that. It looks really nice. See the bridge in the distance there. So a bit of sunlight has been poking through and the creek winds its way around. And I just managed to come from down there. So I should be working my way up now. If you remember at the start of the day, we were virtually coming down the whole way. As long as this creek stays open for me, I'll be happy. It's been a joy to walk up it. Having my feet in the water has been beautiful. Nice and cool today. I picked the right day to go exploring. How nice it looks up through there, honestly. Bunch of more trees up here that possibly have been cut. Huge bit of logging activity going on through here. I've just come up from the creek there when I noticed all these trees laying on the ground. Look at these two. Just these two trees. They've probably come up together. Everything else around has been cut. How long ago, I've got no idea. If anyone has any idea why this area has been used to cut down trees, let me know. If they were, see, they haven't taken them away. You know, if they were used for logging, you would think they would, you won't see any of them here. Why? I have no idea. I can't work it out. You've got another creek system up there that flows into the one that I'm walking. So that's a dry bed. How about we head up there and have a look before we drop back down into there. This might be a little bit difficult with one hand and thongs on the side of a cliff. Again, I'm in rainforest territory. But we have is that? That looks interesting. It's either a landslip oh God, I thought for a second there that this was a tunnel. God. No, there's nothing on either end. Let me just light it up just in case you guys can't see. See, there's grind marks there. Notice on the side of that rock this has been chiseled out. This is interesting. To me that looks like there's some sort of marks. This may have been dynamited. It could be a tunnel in under there that's fallen in on itself now. To expect the tunnels to still be open after so long. Here's a little nest, I think. Maybe not. Jeez, is that how high the water gets up here? There'd be raging torrents through here if that's been caught by the water. Let's have a bit of a wander up through here and see what we can see. There's just two dry creek beds merging into one that leads into the creek that I've been following. So you've got one that snakes down here, which will lead on this side here. And there's another one that leads down here, which will lead into that same creek. And this one here comes to that huge big embankment, which now probably is just a landslide, knowing that there's water coming through here. So this could be another area worth exploring. I'll just go up just around this corner. But I'm not finding any rubbish, I'm not seeing any prints. Not many people come up this way. There we go, get a little bit of plastic bag, rubbish bag. Red Bull. You can hear the motorway, it's just to the left of us here. But I'll stick with where I'm going up the creek because it's probably pushing on midday. Or getting close to midday, and I've got to go get me some lunch and get back into Bellambi Creek, and we'll walk up as far as we can until we get back onto the track. Let's just go to the edge of here. Let's see what it looks like. So the water comes roaring through here. Man, I don't know. Is that man-made? Maybe this just fills up with water so high that it's collapsed in on itself. Hope you're enjoying that bird life, as I know I am. They probably haven't seen too many humans walk through here, and they're warning each other. Who is this dude? What's he want with our bush? There's the creek down there. There's another termite mound. Where are you, brother? I mean you no harm. There he is. That is an eastern whipbird, commonly known as the bulbul. And I love the sound that they make. You see, once I had a word with him, he's not calling out anymore. He knows I'm a friend. Spoke too soon. Okay, so I went up that embankment there. There's another creek running from over there. And I'm just going to head up here. Wash my feet because they're getting a little bit itchy from all these bugs around here. So here's another open area here. There's something may have taken place. Jules is missing out because we've got these unbelievable beautiful ferns. We've done some fern walks recently, especially up there at Mount Wilson. Look at these growing on the side. Birds of paradise, I think she said. Oh no, were they birds of paradise? No, she called them something else. I forget what they were. But look at them growing in the trees. I forget what their name is. And little ferns growing off this tree. She would love it through here because it's nice and open. Look at that. That is just awesome. Fantastic. I'm just walking around. I went up over this embankment and I came across that creek that I was in a little bit earlier on, so you could come in off that. They probably merge into one another if I keep on heading along the Bellambi Creek here. And these plants hanging out the trees, it's just come to my mind. I think Jules said when we did our Weenie Gap Falls adventure, she said they were called birds' nests, which would make sense. So I've got some beautiful, stunning bird nests here that are about a quarter of the way up the tree. Look at this one, they just keep on going right up. Stunning. With a little plantation of ferns there. So I am in rainforest territory, but I can't see any signs of anything here. That's all the intel I was given. The Australian Army in the late 1960s built a mock Vietnam village somewhere near or along Bellambi Creek, whilst nothing would remain. The tunnels were lined with concrete and they should still be there. And there is plenty of tunnels in and around that are still open, such as the World War II tunnels, which are a lot older. But as I told you guys before, the Vietnam tunnels went straight underground. And you would think once the army had finished up, would have maybe filled them in, even though they're concrete lined. But it's a good adventure. I like holding on to things like this, because if you do find something, it's something that you can credit to yourself. No one else is going to be able to come across what I did. Well, not on film anyway. I know that many people went down to that World War II tunnel at Broker's Nose, but I don't think, from what I know, anyone had captured it on film. I'm pretty sure I'm the first guy to have that. So if you haven't seen that video, I think it's 2022. So go to playlists, click on 2022 and look for Broker's Nose World War II Adit Tunnel. You'll enjoy that video. Something very different to what people post online. Awesome area. If you guys are looking for a walk, forget about the tunnels, forget about what may have been here. Just find Bellambi Creek on your Google mapping and walk it. It is unfreaking believable. You ready for this? I'm going to turn you around and look what I'm facing here. Look how that looks. If I back up a little bit, I actually am standing on mossy rocks. Look at that. There's no water running, so maybe come after rainfall and you'll get some pictures that I haven't been able to get today, with water cascading off this into this little pool. And you've got some like stairs on this side which allows you to walk up and down. So just look for the bridges, maybe park where I parked. Look for the bridges and drop down into the creek and just get your camera. And I know some guys take this kind of stuff professionally and then sell the images. Man, let me tell you, look at that through there. And this is not that far off the Princess Motorway. I can hear it, it's just up here. So anywhere where you can park off to the side there, just come for a nice stroll. It is absolutely stunning. It's turned out to be a fantastic morning. Even though we haven't found what we came looking for, there is rainforest here, and I've got some amazing pics and some video. I'm sure this will be some sort of guide for people to venture on through. Now they know that they can cross it, that there's no obstacles. A little channel. Trickling water, my friends. Remember what Uncle Prime tells you, there is no better sound in the world than trickling water. I've never seen birds' nests that high in the tree before. Look at that. Incredible. I don't know if you're picking that up with the video camera. I can't zoom in. What I'll do, I'll take a picture, I'll zoom it in, you'll see it on the music picture slideshow channel. *_scream. What was that bird? Untouched territory where I'm walking at the moment. Have a look at these vines. So my bet would be that there's nothing up this way. I'm far removed myself from where it may have been. So where that concrete bridge was, which may have been built by the Australian Army 50 years ago, it's got to be on that side of it, because I'm not seeing anything here. It is just pristine here, like no one's walked here, like I'm the only person that's ever come through here. Nothing's disturbed. I can't see footprints, I can't see animal prints, I can't see anything. It's just me and the birds at the moment, in pure rainforest territory, mind you. Absolutely stunning. This creek just winds its way all the way around. You've just got natural trees that have fallen away here. There's no more trees that have been purposely cut. All of that was down there. Got little deep sections here you have to be careful of. Not deep, but above knee high. See where the embankment has collapsed. There must be a torrent of water that comes through here when there's heavy rainflow. As you can see, it's just been wallowed out all through there. These poor trees eventually will fall. They're not hanging on by too much. That soil's ready to go. Look over here. Look at the natural falling of the trees. Well, if you're keen on doing a rainforest walk and don't want to go up to the Blue Mountains or up to Mount Wilson, where this is what this area reminds me of, just come down here and now and a bit out of Sydney, past Bulli here, look for Bellambi Creek and just walk the creek. You've got no problem. I've faced no obstacles yet. Anytime I do have fallen trees, I just jump on the embankment, go around it, and I'm fine. There was no getting through that debris up there. Look at that. That's just clogged the creek up, unfortunately. So you'll see some of these creeks that flow into Bellambi. Now I'm not sure if Bellambi heads up that way or heads this way. This is my dilemma. We've got to come across that other bridge, which was quite high. I'm just going to continue following this one, and if I have to come back and go up here, then I will, but I'm just going to keep on following the same route that I have been. That keeps me alongside, I think, the motorway, so I think this is my best bet. Hopefully you guys can see through here, it's rather dark. These beautiful ferns. See, this may bring me back onto that other creek that was up on the other side there. It may circle round, and that may have been the way I had to go home, but anyway, let's find out. We're down here now. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there is a massive deer just behind that fern. That was the first animal I've managed to see today. So I gather the hooves that we saw in the sand back there could possibly be deer. There it is, moving just behind that. I can't, if I get closer, it'll just go left and right and I won't capture it anyway. But that was huge. It's eating up there. So I'm not alone. This area is a haven for deer. So now we know what those droppings were I saw back there, and what possibly the hooves were in the sand. You've got to be careful here. I'm not quite sure what's in these holes, but you can see some markings in there, so this one is currently used by some sort of animal. The last thing I want is to come bolting out while I'm here. I noticed this ditch here. I thought it may have been one of the tunnels I'm looking for, but another animal tunnel. I'm starting to think this creek is not going to lead me out to where I need to be, but I can still hear the roadway, so I'm not all that worried. I'm going to follow it all the way. I don't care if I end up halfway back to Sydney. I'll turn around. I know that all I have to do is follow this creek back down to the concrete bridge and then hop onto the track then, and it's not too far back to the car, but I'm going to head on, keep on heading up here and see if I can find anything. We've got another tricky bit to work out here. It branches off into two ways. Creek, I think, heads along up there. There's no water anymore, and there's one that heads up here. I don't know. Now I'm just winging it. Starting to think that other bridge that I was going to walk under may have been back up that track. Oh, that other creek, sorry. That was right back. These just look like to be feeder creeks, maybe. So we'll keep on heading up along here. Tell you what, I'm ready for lunch. I could be wrong, but if you look at that creek bed there, it starts to elevate up. So I'm hoping this takes me to that bridge, that final bridge. I need to hop back onto the track. But I can guarantee you, if there was any tunnels built, it wouldn't be in this area. There's nothing cut by chainsaw here. This is just natural rainforest. So if you're looking at taking on the Explore from what I've done, go to the concrete bridge. If you actually type in Bellambi Creek on Google Maps, it'll pinpoint just near that bridge, that concrete bridge there. And maybe take a machete with you to where all those trees had been lopped and chop away some of that brush, because there may well be something under there. Just be careful you don't fall in. So notice how far up I've climbed in such a short period of time. And if you look here, it keeps on climbing up. So I'm starting to head, hopefully, onto that track, which I'm hoping is just over there. Oh, I'm starting to feel it in the legs. And be careful too, some of these rocks down here are very slippery. Not slippery, but they're loose. So hang on to something. If you can hang on to a tree. There was a situation back there, if I wasn't hanging onto the tree, I would have fallen down. So if you think that something's going to fall, just grab onto something prior. It's going right up now. This is where we start the burn. There has been a rapid climb up, and I'm on this bit of a clearing here. I don't think you guys can see it, but just through the open area up there I can see power lines. There was power lines along that track that I was coming down in the morning, so I could virtually head straight up there and rejoin the track. But I'm going to continue along this creek, because I'm sure there was that one more bridge. I may have missed it. It may have been on that side track and I've come up a different way, but I'm going to finish this off the way I started it, in the creek. And as soon as this creek ends, I have to jump back on. See up there, it looks like a tree that's been chainsawed. That's a nice flat one. But as soon as this creek comes to an end, or I have to jump back up onto the fire trail, I will. But I'm very close now. There's a lot of open clearing up there, a lot of blue sky. So I think I'm close. Alright, the creek was getting just way too thin for me to continue to walk on, so it was either turn left or turn right. I know as I was walking down, these power lines were on my right. So I've come through this little animal trail up here. I didn't think it would be too far off from the creek, and if you notice here, I'm virtually back on to the trail. So we'll see if we pass another bridge on the trail up here. That bridge may have been further down that way. God, that was an effort. Okay, so you can see here how high I've walked. No, that other, see, it was that other creek. So that creek that was going off towards the right, that would have taken me to this track. So if anyone's thinking about doing this, park where I parked, follow this trail down, and as soon as you can jump into the creek, where you can see the creek, there should be a bridge just around this corner. As soon as you can see that creek, jump into it. That's sort of like an off creek, a runoff creek. That will lead you into Bellambi Creek. That will lead you down to the concrete bridge and down where I think this structure was originally built with the tunnels. I don't think there's anything up there, up here. It'll be down there. So I'll bid you guys farewell once you get back to the car. There's those electricity towers. So not long now. We've given it a red hot crack, but unfortunately 54 years plus of bush regrowth has hidden whatever secret there is there. We're nearly home, guys. Just passing this mobile phone tower. I've actually just walked down here a little bit and noticed something on my left which I didn't notice at the start of the video. I'm not quite sure if I was filming that way. Are you ready for this? Another Trig station that we've stumbled upon without even trying. So I'm not quite sure what this Trig station is. It could be Bulli, but that is a Trig. Let's go see if there's a plaque on it. So now I'll know exactly what to name today's adventure. I was going to name it the Vietnam Village from the 1960s, but that's too much of clickbait considering I didn't confirm anything today. So I'm going to name it Bellambi Creek Waterfall and Rainforest Walk with Trig Station. So that's what the title of this video is going to be. Look at this. How are you, mate? Good to see you. Someone's built some rocks under there. What's going on? Maybe that was the spot for the original Trig. You never know, and that's why they've left them there. Okay, we have a plaque on it. We'll be able to confirm what this is called, and it is the Sherbrooke. We are looking at the Central Mapping Authority Geodetic Station, Sherbrooke. There you go, fellas. The Sherbrooke Trig. Mava be spewing. That's another Trig I found without him. We'll head down here and see if that takes us back to the car. Plenty of towers around here. Well, might as well call it a day from here. Thanks for joining me. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything, but that's how you find things, by exploring. It would have been great to come across an old Vietnam tunnel that they used back in the 1960s, the Australian Army built, but it wasn't to be. I don't doubt there's something down there, but unless you take a machete with you or have any knowledge, if there's any old timers watching this video, if you were in your 20s back in the late 1960s, and what are we talking about now, 50 years on, 54 years on, that would put you in your 70s. If you were down there, if you were part of the Army Corps back then and you were part of building some sort of army village down there, comment on the video, let me know. Tell me if I was close, direct me where I have to go. If you want to come along with me, let me know, I'll pick you up. If we can find something and document it, it'll be great for future generations. So on that note, I'll bid you farewell until I see you on the next adventure or explore, hopefully in 2 weeks time with Julesy. Adios.